He wasn't missing. He was hidden. And now I know why our parents lied to me. My name is Daniel Porter. I'm 26 years old, and I've lived a relatively quiet life, or at least, I thought I did. I grew up in rural Pennsylvania, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone and secrets are hard to keep. My family was simple. Mom, Dad, and my younger brother, Josh. He was 2 years younger than me, a shy but bright kid who loved to draw monsters and read about cryptids. We were close. We shared a room, we shared secrets, and we even had matching scars from when we tried to build a treehouse and fell out of it. But everything changed when Josh turned 17. One morning I woke up and he was just gone. No note, no warning. My parents were frantic. We called the police, put up fires, organised searches through the woods. Weeks passed, then months, and the trail went cold. Everyone had theories. He ran away, he was kidnapped, maybe he took his own life. But nothing ever felt right. Josh wasn't the type to run away from anything. He was scared of driving on the highway, for God's sake. My parents fell apart. My mum stopped cooking, stopped smiling. My dad buried himself in work and alcohol. And me? I started having dreams, really messed up ones. I'd see Josh standing at the edge of the woods behind our house, mouth open like he was trying to scream, but no sound came out. Sometimes I'd wake up with scratches on my arms. I thought maybe I was sleepwalking. Maybe I was going crazy. Years passed. 7 to be exact. I moved out, got a job at a warehouse in Pittsburgh, and tried to live a normal life. I dated, I drank, I worked, and I tried not to think about my brother. But then something happened that dragged it all back. 2 weeks ago, I got a letter. Not an email. Not a text. A handwritten letter, sealed in an envelope with no return address. Just my name on the front. Inside was a single sentence. He's not dead, they're hiding him. Ask your parents about the basement. That's all it said. No signature, no explanation. I laughed at first. It had to be a prank. There's something about the handwriting, it looked familiar. Like Josh's old journals. My hands were shaking. I called my parents that night. Mom sounded nervous when I brought it up. Dad got on the phone and told me not to come home. So I did the opposite. I drove down the next day, showed up and announced. The house was just like I remembered it, except emptier. Staler. I hugged Mom, who looked like she hadn't slept in a week. Dad barely looked at me. And when I asked again about the basement, they told me the same thing. There's nothing down there, Denny, just old boxes and mice. But I remembered something else, something I hadn't thought about in years. Josh used to say, there's a room beneath the basement, a secret room. Back then I thought he was just being weird. But what if he wasn't? That night, I waited until my parents were asleep. I couldn't get the letter out of my head. My heart was pounding as I crept through the old house. Every creaky floorboard felt like a gunshot in the silence. The basement door was still in the same spot next to the kitchen pantry. It groaned when I opened it, and the familiar smell of damp wood and mildew hit me like a memory. I descended the stairs slowly, flashlight in hand. The light bulb overhead flickered, then went out completely like it knew I was there. My fingers brushed against cobwebs and cold stone walls as I moved deeper into the dark. And just like they said it, just like I remembered, there were boxes. Dozens of them. Old toys. Baby clothes. Christmas lights. But I wasn't here for nostalgia. I started tapping along the back wall, remembering what Josh used to say. The air sounds different if there's space behind it. It sounded crazy back then. Now, I was willing to believe anything. After 20 minutes of tapping and pushing and listening, I heard it. A hollow thunk behind a dusty bookshelf. My hands were shaking as I pulled it away. Behind it was a door. Not a normal door, though. This one was made of metal. Heavy. No knob. Just a latch that looked rusted shut. I pulled hard, and it screamed as it opened, revealing a pitch-black tunnel that sloped downward. I stood there for a full minute, paralyzed. Everything in my body told me to turn back. But then I thought of Josh. What if he really was down there? What if he'd been down there this whole time? I stepped inside. The tunnel was cold, unnaturally cold. The air felt wrong, like breathing in ice water. Flashlight caught the edges of things I didn't want to see. Scratches on the walls. Faint smeared fingerprints. And drawings, hundreds of them. Drawings of creatures. Twisted faces. A boy with wide eyes and no mouth. I kept walking. Eventually, the tunnel opened up into a room. A concrete bunker. Small. Cramped. There was a bed in the corner, a bucket, a light bulb swinging from a chain. And in the middle of the floor, a pile of notebooks. I rushed over and grabbed the top one. My hands went numb. It was Josh's handwriting. I flipped through the pages, heart in my throat. Page after page of madness. They feed me once a day, so I can hear them whisper through the vents. Mom cried today. The dad says I have to stay down here so the world doesn't see what I've become. What I've become. The last entry stopped me cold. Daniel will come, I know he will, but I'm not sure I want him to see me like this. I backed away from the notebooks, suddenly aware of how still it was. Too still, like the air was waiting for something. Then I heard it. A scratch. From the far corner of the room, and a voice raspy, barely human. Danny? I froze. Danny? It was his voice. But it didn't sound right. It was deeper, distorted, like someone speaking through broken glass. I turned slowly, my flashlight trembling in my hand. The beam flickered across the room and landed on something in the corner. At first, I thought it was a pile of blankets or clothes. But then it moved. It unfolded. My breath caught in my throat. The thin person crawled out of the shadows, shielding its eyes from the light. Pale skin. Bone-thin arms. Matted black hair. And eyes that didn't match. One brown. One milky white. Josh? I whispered. He flinched. I took a step forward, but he backed into the wall like a frightened animal. It's okay, I said. It's me, it's Danny. He looked up, and when I saw his face, I almost dropped the flashlight. It was Josh, but also wasn't. His features were warped. His jaw looked slightly off, like it had healed wrong after being broken. His hand shook violently, fingers bent at unnatural angles. His skin was covered in scars, bites, scratches, some fresh. I knew you'd come, he muttered, rocking back and forth. I told them you would. I told them. What the hell is going on? I said, barely able to breathe. Who did this to you? He looked at me, and his lips trembled. They said I was sick, that I was dangerous, that if anyone saw me, they'd take me away, that they would come. Who's they? Our parents, he whispered. But not just them, others. My heart was slamming against my ribs. I knelt beside him, trying not to cry. You're coming with me, right now. We're getting out of here. He didn't move. You can't take me outside. Not like this. They changed me, Danny. What do you mean, they changed you? He reached under the cot and pulled out a small glass jar. Inside it was something black and wriggling. At first, I thought it was a worm. Then I saw it had eyes. They injected me with it, he said softly. It lives in me now. I staggered back. Jesus Christ. He grabbed my wrist with surprising strength. They said it was a government program. They were paid. I was a test. A trial. No. My mind was reeling. You can't tell anyone, he hissed. If you do, they'll come for you too. Suddenly, I heard the basement door above us creak open. Footsteps. Heavy. Coming down. Josh's eyes widened in panic. You need to go. Hide. Now. The tunnel lights flickered, and I could hear someone descending the stairs. Not running, just slow, deliberate steps. My parents. No. Not my parents. I turned off the flashlight and slipped into the shadows, heart racing, eyes adjusting to the dark. I didn't know who or what was coming. But I knew one thing. This wasn't just about Josh anymore. Meant all I could see was white. When my eyes adjusted, I saw him. Not my dad. Not my mom. A man in a black coat, tall and expressionless, stood in the doorway. His skin was greyish, his head shaved. No visible weapon, no badge, just cold, lifeless eyes that swept across the room like a scanner. Josh whimpered. Subject 11, the man said, his voice robotic. You were instructed to remain silent. I felt my whole body tense. Josh didn't answer. The man stepped forward, stopping in front of him. I expected him to shout, or hit him, or drag him out. Instead, he pulled out a small device, some kind of remote, and pressed a button. Josh screamed. He clutched his head and writhed on the floor. Veins bulged under his skin. I wanted to leap out, to stop it, but I couldn't move. My legs were locked. My mind screamed to something, but my body betrayed me. After 10 seconds, the man let go of the button. Josh collapsed in a gasping heap, twitching. We will increase dosage if necessary, the man said flatly. I snapped. I grabbed a broken pipe from behind the crates and lunged. The metal hit his shoulder hard, but he didn't flinch. He just turned his head toward me like a machine reorienting its sensors. Unauthorized presence detected. He reached for his belt, and I saw a syringe. No way I was letting him use it. I swung again, this time catching him across the face. The man fell. Josh was still trembling on the floor. I helped him up as fast as I could. We're leaving now. There are more, he gasped. He's not the only one. They watch the house, the woods. I don't care. We'll run. He hesitated. We have to go now, Josh. That got him moving. We stumbled through the tunnel, up the basement stairs. I could already hear something behind us, maybe another one of them. No time to check. I threw open the door and dragged Josh into the kitchen. My parents were standing there, but they didn't look surprised. You found him, Dad said. Not a question. You knew? I shouted. You locked him down there for 7 years. He's not your brother anymore, Mom said, coldly. Not completely. I pulled Josh behind me. Ed, out of our way. You don't understand, Dad said. If you take him out of this house, they'll kill you both. He's marked. Screw you. I bolted for the front door, dragging Josh. Behind us, I heard my mother screaming some code word. I didn't care. We were out. I threw Josh in the passenger seat of my car and hit the gas before my tires even stopped squealing. He was free. But when I looked over at him, his eyes weren't the same anymore. They were glowing. We drove for hours without speaking. I didn't know where I was going, just away. Away from the house, away from the thing in the basement, away from the parents I thought I could trust. Josh sat silently beside me, arms wrapped around himself, staring out the window like he wasn't really there. But I couldn't stop glancing at him. His eyes still glowed faintly in the dark. Not like a flashlight. More like embers. Flickering. Alive. I finally pulled into an empty motel off a highway in Ohio. The place looked like it hadn't been cleaned since the 90s, but we didn't have a choice. I paid cash. Didn't give a name. We entered the room, and I double-locked the door. Only then did I collapse on the bed, face buried in my hands. What the hell is happening? I whispered. Josh was sitting on the floor by the window. They said it would help me evolve, that it would fix me. Fix you? I used to get sick a lot, remember? He said. All those infections, all those ER visits, they told Mom and Dad there was a program, that it was cutting edge, that it could save me. I felt sick. They said I'd be better, stronger, but it hurt, Danny, it hurt. And then it changed me. He held up his hand, and I saw it twitch. Bones shifted underneath like wires twisting. Then, before my eyes, his fingers lengthened just a bit, like something inside was stretching them. I stumbled backward. Jesus, what is that? It's not human, he said softly. Not anymore. A long silence followed. I tried to process it. My brother had been turned into some kind of experiment. My parents were complicit. And now I didn't know if he was still my brother at all. I shouldn't be here, Josh said. They'll track me. I'm tagged. No, I snapped. You're safe now. I don't care what they did. We'll figure it out. I'll get you help. You don't understand, he said, tears forming. There is no help. I sat down beside him. I'm not leaving you again, ever. He smiled weakly. Then you need to know something. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a photo, creased, dirty. It showed a group of kids. 5 of them. Josh was in the center. I didn't recognize the others. We weren't the only ones. This was the first batch. Where are they now? Dead, he said. Or worse. He pointed to one girl in the photo. Her eyes had been scribbled out in black ink. She escaped the compound. She started changing, like me, but faster. Her body couldn't handle. She killed a family in Texas last year before they put her down. My blood ran cold. Josh leaned closer. They'll come for me too. When they find out I'm out, they'll send the others. The others? He nodded. They made more after me, stronger, smarter. Not broken like I was. And then he whispered something I'll never forget. They're not coming to take me back, Denny. They're coming to erase me. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound outside the motel window, every creak of the walls, every flicker of light, I thought they'd found us. That at any moment, someone or something would break through the door. Josh was silent, curled up on the floor with a blanket wrapped around him like a shield. But I could tell he wasn't asleep either. His body kept twitching. Once, around 3 a.m., I saw his veins glow faintly under his skin, like there was something alive inside him, something that pulsed in sync with his heartbeat. At dawn, he sat up suddenly and said, "They're close." My stomach dropped. "How do you know?" "I can feel them," he whispered. "In my head." That was when the power went out. No hum from the AC. No lights. Just silence. And then the motel door handle began to turn. I grabbed the chair from under the table and wedged it under the knob. "Back window," I hissed. Josh was already there, climbing out. The second I followed him out, I heard the door behind us crash open and something inhuman scream. We didn't look back. We sprinted across the parking lot, through a field, and into a wooded area behind the motel. Thorns tore at my arms. Branches whipped my face. But we kept running. Then Josh collapsed. He hit the ground hard, screaming in agony. His body was convulsing, his arms bending in ways no human arm should. Bones cracking. Skin rippling. "It's starting," he gasped. "I can't hold it back anymore." No, stay with me, Josh." I grabbed his hand. His eyes snapped open and for a moment, they weren't his. They were pitch black, glowing from inside. His voice came out laid, too, 3 tones speaking at once. "They're inside me, Danny." And then, he changed. His body stretched, bone snapping, flesh twisting. Claws tore through his fingertips. His jaw unhinged. His back arched violently, and then he stood. Towering. Silent. Unrecognizable. But then he looked at me. And in those monstrous, hellish eyes I saw something. "Thea, I don't want to hurt you," he growled. "You won't," I said, trembling. "I know you're still in there. His body shook like he was fighting himself. Behind us, I heard something crashing through the trees. More of them. The others he warned me about. He turned toward the sound, then back to me. I'll stop them. You need to run. No. Yeah? I hesitated, and then he lunged past me, straight into the darkness. I ran. I don't remember how long. Just trees, blood, screaming until I found a road and flagged down a trucker. He dropped me off at a gas station 40 miles away. I told the police everything. They said there was no record of my brother. No report of him missing. No motel where I said it was. No bodies in the woods. Nothing. But I know what I saw. Now I move every few weeks. Burners only. No ID. Because I know he's still out there. Either fighting what's inside him or becoming it. And if he loses that fight, he'll come looking for me next.